You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Like, come on, how did I get this?
Yeah, that's still, I still don't know how I got this. That's pretty, like, to me, it's weird because, like, some people are, like, so, grew up, like, dreaming of the Olympics and seeing it, like, as something so big. And I feel like I didn't have that. Like, I grew up watching X Games and stuff, and I was, like, all hyped on that. And, first Olympics, it kind of felt like, all like big and all this stuff, but I was just young and like kind of like not ready to have success like in my head.
Yeah.
Somehow like I just wasn't mentally prepared to stop my run because I feel like I had the tricks back then, but I was just like, I don't know, not concentrating enough really. And then injuries through like the years like just put me on the right track to find like my right mindset and then have like more success, while I had.
So you're just thinking like, maybe you weren't thinking it exactly like I'm not an Olympian, but you weren't like, you didn't go expecting to win a medal.
In 2014, I just like was like, oh, I want to go all out and kind of like do whatever. And then in 18, like I really wanted to go land my run, and I had like more focus towards that, which helped me, of course. But at the same time, like I don't know, like I'd never idolize like the Olympics or see them as something so big that like I have a medal and it's like it's chilling in like a thing, like we can't even see it. It's like in my room, like
just in a box in your
bunch
room
of shit. Like it's kind of like I don't really like take that as like, oh my god, like I'm somebody great because I got an Olympic medal. It's like I don't know, like it just happened. Like it was I just skied and it happened. It could have like it could have been fourth, could have been fifth, and I would have stayed the same guy. Like that's kind of what I've always taught. Like results are just like they happen. You had your day, and it's kind of like I just had a good day on that day. Like, and there's 4 years in between, and everybody's freaking out. But it's like I just stayed like a
it's wild. It's wild. It's not. It's just a thing. It's a thing that you appreciate, but it's not like you haven't made it your personality. You haven't like centered yourself around it, which is fascinating. But at the same time, it's actually opened a lot of doors for you, right? Like as soon as you have an Olympic medal, people are like, oh my god. Like regular people who love the Olympics that even don't ski, they know who you are. They want to talk to you. I remember right after that, I think the year after, I think it was the year after at that Toronto snow show where we launched POW, and they're like, oh, Alex, bring your medal. Come over here. And you're getting pulled one way or the other. I'm like, and you and Kelsey were there. I'm like, that's what happens when you win your medals.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because I like that, like people are like wow and stuff, and it's kind of like if it hypes people to do sports, like I'm happy that it does. Like if it can like prove that it's doable and that like it's achievable, like if you work hard or whatever to like do good in sports and like and like great. But like apart from that, like the Olympic medal for me was just like I pursued like what I like doing,
yeah,
and then I pushed it to another level and brought it to like being my job really. And then like I was like just kept like being competitive enough to like stay in there and stick to it. And
so
I had good days, but it's like
it's just one of the big comps that you won. Like you won WSSF like a couple years after that. That's probably just as big for you.
It is. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's kind of like, oh, that day was great. But I think it's weird sometimes, like when I'll see like people from high school or whatever, and like they always knew that I was like a ski bum. I wanted to be skiing, and I dress in like baggy clothes when I was in high school and stuff. And like I went and studied in the States for my senior year, trying to push to get there. But it's like, I don't know, the Olympics now, they're like, oh wow, like you used to be a ski bum that we thought was like doing drugs and like just like wearing baggy clothes and doing some kind of freestyle that nobody backed up at all. Like I tried so much to get, like, my sport was too new. Like when I got in it, like I tried to get backed up to like half days off school and stuff, and nobody like took me seriously. Like they all thought like that I was just like a free ski bum. It's like, and then like I go to the Olympics, and then they're like, wow, you went to the Olympics, great, and then you have an Olympic medal, oh my god, you're so amazing, like wow, what an athlete. It's like, yo, I've always been working hard, like, and if the Olympics never showed up and it was just have been X Games, I would have lived my passion like the same exact way, man. So it's like I went from like a ski bum to like, oh, an amazing athlete, really just because of like the Olympics.
In the eyes of the same people, right? It's
the eyes of the same people,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
The people that know, then they know, but like the people that just don't know, then they're like, they take this as something
well, that's
big.
the thing. Goes as the notoriety attached to it, right? Like it's, you won a medal for Canada. Like that's still pretty cool.
You've been listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers. This has been a Redmark Media production.